welcome to Easy Listening. My name is Emily.
And I'm Zoe.
This is a podcast all about things in the greater Orlando area, about movies, theme parks, 80s, and horror. We are two best friends who decided to put this together because we just need to get this out. We need to talk about this. I don't know. What do we need, Zoe?
Definitely an outlet, definitely need to start talking about things and getting hyped up for, especially, spooky season coming up. And we have a lot of fun things in Orlando. If you're not from here, check out a whole lot of things, and we review a lot of those places, and some of them are hidden gems that, there's so much more to Orlando than just theme parks. And so, we're going to review them and, keep you updated on a lot of really cool things.
For sure. I think we're tired of talking each other's ears off. I'm pretty sure our families are tired of hearing all this crap. All the same stuff. Yep. So I guess let's get straight into it. One of the first things we found, so we just spent our week going out, researching and doing all this fun stuff. One of the first things we found was this cool bar called Cocktails and Screams. Mm-hmm. And we have some pictures to share with you guys. So we're going to get those pulled up for you. So right away, atmosphere is a big
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10
Yeah.
is so cool. So right now, go ahead and talk about what we see when we first come in.
Yeah, so when you first walk in, first of all, the line was out the door. So if you've been to Orlando, out to a club, that if the line is out the door, it is worth waiting for. I will say that right off the bat, when you do wait in line, there is a waitress outside giving you a menu, so you can look over the menu. So when you walk in, what drinks you can order and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty cool. And then as soon as you walk in the door, there was this huge wall just full of Halloween masks, and it was pretty cool.
It was so cool. The whole place is decorated. So we got time to look over the menu, and we decided on these few drinks here. So we got the Drunken Pumpkin, which is, first off, contains a whole bottle of Irish whiskey in it, which is so cool. And all the drinks are dry ice filled, so everything's bubbling over, which is so much fun. And it's like a pumpkin puree kind of drink, which is really cool. And then Zoe got the Herald of Hell.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So if you like sweeter drinks that kind of mask the alcohol flavor, this place is definitely for you. Like, a lot of their drinks
that was real big.
Yeah, it was very, very good. They were very smooth. And that drink that I got, it was a shot, I believe.
It was a shot. It's the red shot we have here.
Herald of Hell, and it tasted like a strawberry Jolly Rancher. It's kind of the best way I can describe it. It was strawberry flavored. I'm not sure what alcohol was in it. I think it was, I want to say either tequila or vodka.
It was good.
It was very good.
And then I also got the basic witch, which is like a pumpkin spice coffee shot here. It was the other drink in front of there. We've switched over now. This is Zoe enjoying the Drunken Pumpkin. We had so much fun. We had a few other people with us that night, and it took us forever to get that thing down. It was so huge.
It took us about probably half the time we spent there to drink that. That is definitely, if you're going with 4 or more people, that's definitely the drink to share. It's very good. I personally thought that it tasted like a pumpkin pie type thing, but not as dessert-esque as a pumpkin pie, which was really good. I thought it was really smooth and really, really good. And the presentation overall was just perfect.
So if you are a little bit of a heavy drinker, or if you like the taste, we have this other one here. They had a blood bag that was a watermelon Jolly Rancher. I was my favorite. I really enjoyed that one. Zoe wasn't a big fan, so I kind of got to enjoy it all to myself here. Yeah. Do you want to talk about it a little? Do you remember much about it?
The blood bag?
Yeah.
So the blood bag to me, I don't really like the artificial watermelon flavor. So it really wasn't my favorite. But it was very strong. So
Definitely the strong side.
Yeah, it's definitely the stronger one. It didn't mask the alcohol flavor taste as much, but it was still very good. Again, the presentation was just
it was so
spot
much
on.
fun. Yes. So. There was one other drink we got that was a witch's brew, which was like a green apple flavor. Yeah. We don't have any pictures of that one, but that one was really good as well. Very sweet again.
Yep. And the reason we don't have any pictures of that is because we drank it too fast.
We drank it too fast.
Because it was very good.
And I think the pumpkin was taking effect.
Yes.
I think it was doing its job. So we talked about the environment before. Let's go back to that real quick. We have a few pictures. All around was decorated. It was so cool.
You were completely immersed in this atmosphere. They really did a good job on presentation, not only with the drinks, but also just the overall atmosphere. And you really got a sense of like going to like a haunted house, but also like I think a flair of like jumping into like a 1950s horror movie is what I got the vibe from. Very classic horror.
It reminds me of Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
A lot. Very Haunted Mansion-esque. They have pictures
the pictures,
on the wall.
Those pictures, they change.
They had portraits that were on the wall. They had like the Psycho House painted, and then right next to it was this giant cage with like a skeleton in it, like which was like Pirates of the Caribbean kind of feels to it. They had like a giant Elvira mural.
It was a mural,
on the wall. They have like an Addams Family themed VIP room that you guys could rent out if you wanted. Definitely think I'm going to be going there for my birthday. It's so much fun.
Well, I definitely think that any type of occasion that you can think of would be amazing. If you are a diehard horror fan like we are, that is the place to be. Please excuse my animals in the background. But yeah, it's definitely a must go to if you want to go to a night out of town in Orlando. It is just spectacular.
Yes. I encourage dressing up too. There were people who were in movies, not in movies, but who were dressed like they were from in movies. Like there was a girl who was dressed up like from Beetle.
Yeah.
There was
Lydia.
There was somebody dressed up as Lydia. There were the people who work there are also in costume.
Yeah.
There were
Michael Myers was
there
running
was a
around.
Michael Myers. We got one with a guy from Michael Myers. They even have like a mini Michael Myers house when you walk in too. Yeah. I didn't get a good picture of that one. And then when the bathrooms too, there was one picture here. I think that's that of us in front of the bathrooms. It's literally all these movie posters.
Yeah.
All around. So great for taking pictures and stuff. We absolutely adored it and enjoyed it. There's us with Michael too.
Yep.
It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah. Speaking of by the bathrooms, when you look at it, it is wall to wall, just posters on posters on posters on posters of these horror movies. And it's movies that it's not just the movies that we know and love. It's also B-rated movies. So if you like
that was something,
some crappy horror movies that might bring you joy. They have those posters there as well. So I felt like it's really cool. Whether you like the scary, funny movies or the straight up gory movies, I think they hit the nail on the head for anybody and everybody. So
yes, and just a little tip here. When we got the Drunken Pumpkin, I was just carrying it around. I dumped it and I was trying to take it home. You can't take it home.
Yeah, you can't take the pumpkin home.
I tried, so you don't have to. So, what else? I think we're at the coaster. Are we at the coaster? So, a few days later, we got the chance to go out to Universal. We are annual pass holders, so we go out there all the time. But the new Velocicoaster just opened up. Weather wasn't the greatest, so I actually had to leave. I wasn't able to get to ride it, but Zoe can give us some insight into this.
Yeah, all right. So, there we are. It was pouring down rain. My fiance and I went out there, and it was very rainy and thundering and lightning out, and I looked at him and I didn't think we were going to be able to go on it. But we waited in line anyways because I said, you know what? We came out here and this is what we wanted to do. So we're going to go out there and we're just going to wait and see. And we waited for probably about 30 minutes and all of a sudden the, clouds parted and we were able to get on the ride. Now I will say the one thing that I've seen circling the internet recently has been people comparing please excuse my animals, people comparing Hagrid's to the Velocicoaster. And at first I was like, okay, yeah, launch sequences and it's very immersive. Like, yeah, okay, there's some similarities. But I can tell you from firsthand that the Velocicoaster, if you are looking for a roller coaster that is a thrill, that is the one to go to. It's honestly, it's pretty intense. That ride, and I love roller coasters. I would probably only do it once every visit or every other.
So not kid friendly.
No, it's not kid friendly.
Not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, Hagrid's is more of a show coaster, is what I like to call it. Whereas Velocicoaster is all about the thrills, all about getting those G-forces and getting your heart pumping and all that stuff. It was really cool how they integrated the Velociraptors into it, because I was like, oh, they're statues, like that's not going to be scary. But you are going so fast when you see the statues of the Velociraptors that they look like they're moving. They look like they're jumping out at you. You get so close to these statues, it's ridiculous. And then there's one part where you go by the water, and I swear I was this close to the water. It was so intense, and you go upside down, and it was a lot of fun.
How was the line queue? Did you feel like you were waiting? Did they have like a very seamless process?
Yeah, so that's a big thing. Honestly, when we walked in, the queue itself is so immersive. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to look at. They have lights. They have statues of the raptors, and they have little Easter eggs, which is really cool.
So great for fans of the series.
Yes. Especially, of course, it takes place in Jurassic World, unfortunately, because I love the originals.
The originals, yes.
But they do have hidden Easter eggs from the originals. They have Dr. Malcolm's book that he came out with in one of the lockers, and Alan Grant's book that he came out with. And they show their faces, and it looks like a real book. It's really cool. So I think the whole storyline is really cool about that ride as well. It's talking about how Jurassic World wants to take you guys into the raptor paddock, and you're gonna be side by side running along with the raptors. And of course, he slips my mind at the moment, but the trainer of the raptors in Jurassic World is saying, it's doomed to fail. Like you shouldn't be in the containment area with the raptors, and basically they just don't heed your warning, and the raptors get out with you. They're supposed to be behind walls while or in their cages while you race around the paddock, and and they get out, and then they chase you.
Let's not give too much away now.
Yeah. There are things that I won't tell you that happen in the ride that are absolutely spectacular, and in the queue. So they incorporate the queue with the ride, which I think is really cool. So, yeah. So it's worth the wait.
Definitely worth the wait, and it seems that their queue process is really integrated and really well. It was so seamless. I think you told me even with the rain delay, you still only waited a total of 40-something minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
A coaster that is opened up 3 weeks, and they are on it with that time and stuff. But let's kind of set that aside. Right next door to the new Velocicoaster, obviously, is Universal Studios, and we have an upcoming event. Tickets just launched, a week ago or so for Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Yes, and this is the first Halloween Horror Nights we're getting since COVID. We're finally opening back up. We're finally getting those experiences. What do we see happening with these parks? What do we expect? Like jam packed? Do you think?
I think so, because if you go on a regular day now, especially with a lot of the restrictions being lifted, um, you're seeing a lot of lines, a lot of long wait times, a lot of people.
Definitely.
So I think that it's gonna be sold out.
I think it's gonna be sold out. I went on a few days ago and I noticed there are no the frequent fear passes.
Yeah.
There's none of those packages for the multi nights. We are only having the single night tickets.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just gonna be opening up later or they're really trying to focus on this one night going because they have years past too. So
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody knows this. If you bought a ticket for what year are we on now? 30. So if you bought for 29, which didn't happen, your tickets are still valid.
Yep.
They're still accepting those tickets. So they have those old tickets that are still valid and new tickets being purchased.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we're really planning on seeing that influx, and we're not going to get frequent fear passes. I don't think until it starts and they say, oh, it's not as bad as we think.
Yeah.
Let's open this up.
Yeah. I think so too. I honestly feel like we're gonna see those long wait times.
I think
that
yeah.
You know, it's gonna be pretty packed. So be patient and understand that if you do go to the event, it is going to be packed. So if you do not feel comfortable because of COVID and everything, stay home. That is a big thing that they are telling people. Is that if you do not feel comfortable, because they're going to operate at full capacity now. Universal just opened up full capacity
just like
last
before,
week.
Yeah.
So they're telling you if you do not feel safe or comfortable, please understand that is okay, but they're going to be operating at full capacity now.
So it's also the crowds coming in. I think Universal's going to come in with a bang. I think we only have the one house announced. We have the Beetle House, which, if you don't know, was one of the many pop-up houses they had. They also had, I think, Ghostbusters as a mini pop-up. We might see that as a potential full house. And we have the announcement of the very much loved, my favorite, Jack. Yeah. Jack is coming in hot and heavy for 30. Mm-hmm. I think he has a mini trailer released. Have you seen it?
So I watched it probably a couple days ago now, and it seems pretty cool. The couple things that were floating around on Twitter regarding Jack was that we are going to see his backstory. So he has family, and his family, their personalities or their personas are your worst fears. So one of them for sure is clowns for a lot of people. So they were talking about his brother. He has a brother. His name is Eddie, which unfortunately he was supposed to have a debut in 2001, and they ended up not doing him because of some racial stereotypes that came around. So, but supposedly he's going to have his own scare zone. Now, this is all speculation. So we don't know for sure, but if we can see Eddie, then I would assume that his whole family is coming, which I think would be spectacular. I think that would be so cool to see Jack's background, because
I love that.
We've seen him so many years now, and he is a fan favorite. So why not bring his demented family with him?
That'd be so cool. I wonder if his mom is like Bills or something. That's my greatest fear.
Bills. Yeah, me too.
Water power. I also would love to see, because Beetle is going to be there, obviously. I would like to see the two like clown kind of figures play it off. I would love to see a little meet and greet between Jack and Beetle, and then have kind of like a who's bigger, badder kind of to feel to it, which would be really good.
Well, and I think, if I remember correctly, the person who created Jack, he brought a lot of inspiration from Michael Keaton's Beetlejuice. That snarky, sarcastic, kind of sexual guy. Jack very much embodies that, but I mean, of course, he's a little more demented than Beetlejuice per se. But you know, I think that would be such a missed opportunity on their part if they didn't at least do something, even if it was the first or last night.
Yeah.
You know?
Something, or even if it's just for advertisement purposes, like nothing's really going on, just for advertisement.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen in the parks, give us a commercial. Give us
Yeah.
just a little snippet side by side.
Yeah.
We will flip. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to talk about the Beetlejuice house was that, so last year, my fiance and I did get the chance to see the pop-up house. Unfortunately, you weren't able to go.
Yeah.
But we did see the pop-up house, and as I will say, that pop-up houses that they had, which I believe were the Bride of Frankenstein Returns, the Tooth Fairy, and then Beetle for the last 2 days.
Yeah, it was a real short, like...
Yeah, I will say that it was better than no HHN, but as far as what we know and love as Halloween Horror Nights, it was not that.
It wasn't there.
And so Beetle was supposed to have a house last year, an actual house, and then when COVID happened, his house, I guess, was pretty much done. They had all the props and the licensing and all that kind of stuff, and it was set up in the soundstage, and then COVID hit. So they thought that the fans would like it if they put some of the larger, more immersive props in the tribute store they had last year for Halloween Horror Nights. And that wasn't enough for the fans, so they did a pop-up house. But because they put the bigger, immersive
items
in the tribute store, a lot of it was kind of bare bones in the pop-up house.
Uh-huh.
You know, there were things you could tell in certain rooms that things were missing. You could tell that scare actors weren't there because of COVID. You know, we didn't have as many scares, and you had the plexiglass in front of you and the masks. That, you know, it was very, very different this year or this past year.
So basically what we're saying, if you saw the pop-up house, and as you got to do, and you saw the tribute store, I think we're going to see those two combine to integrate and even possibly go on a bigger scale. One of the things we got to see was a little Dante's Inferno. I'm hoping maybe we'll get a little more taste of that.
Yeah.
And then I think the hallway. I think we'll get to see the Lost Souls room. I think we'll get to walk down and then maybe go into how they went in.
Yeah.
Which would be real cool.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I think we have gotten enough out this time. This was so exciting. Thank you, everyone who joined us. Next week, we are getting close to the July 4th time.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about something that I absolutely love, but
hate.
Fear. Talking about... Go ahead.
We're going to be talking about Jaws. So anything related to Jaws, the movies, the ride at Universal Studios, California had it, and Florida.
I think California's, they still got it. Florida, we've lost our ride, but don't worry. We have some mementos. And then we also have a little hidden gem that Zoe found for everybody. So if you're a book lover, tune in. We have a little hidden gem about the Jaws ride for you.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that. But thank you guys again so much for joining us. And once again, this is Easy Listening. My name is Emily.
My name's Zoe.
You guys take care.
Bye.